Exodia! Obliterate!
Hello, good people. Welcome back. We have another special guest on the channel this week, and this one is a really, really sweet one. We have Butzemmon here, who got top 4 in Last Chance Qualifier number 2 with Exodia, and that is insane. I looked it up on Format Library, and I could not find another Exodia top in GOAT format. I don't know if there has been one somewhere that I just missed or didn't get documented there, but this is quite a feat. We never see Exodia top a tournament, so this is super exciting for me. I had to get him on to the channel to talk about this deck, but without further ado, Butzemmon, go ahead, introduce yourself and talk about the deck for us.
Hello, thanks. You already got me hyped with that intro, to be honest. So I quit playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Like 15 years ago or so. Just not even because the game was terrible, just because, you know, other things in life took priority. And then I came back 5 months, so not a long time ago. And then when I came back to GOAT format, I just thought I wanted to play my favorite thing in the game if I were to come back. And so I wanted to play Exodia, but I really like the GOAT format, the normal GOAT format gameplay, with all the card types and the attack and defense mattering and long games and all of that. And so I wanted to build a deck that can actually play that kind of game, and just be an Exodia deck at the same time. And that was the main goal. And it did not start out as a very good deck. I think now it's in a place where I enjoy it a lot. But it took quite a while to come together. So I guess the very basic skeleton is that you want to play the Exodia pieces, you want to play the Sangans and Emissaries, and you want to play the Thunder Dragons, right? They are all very obvious inclusions. Mm-hmm. And at that point, you play a bunch of lights and darks, so might as well throw in BLS because you don't really have to do anything else to make the deck to make it work in the deck. So that was like the very first couple of cards that went in there. And then Metamorphosis was also among those because it's just incredibly good. It's one of my favorite cards of all time. It works with the Exodia pieces, it works with BLS, even works with Thunder Dragon. Thunder Dragon works great with the Emissary, so I think it's just, all of that is just very natural. So that was the start, but in the beginning I played like flip effects, like the Koichis, and I think even Moth, which did not perform that well because they kind of force you into a really passive kind of play, and I feel like the deck is already not always able to be aggressive because you just have a bunch of kind of dead cards in hand and you have to kind of buy time for a little bit, so that's where the scapegoats come in. Also the Jar, I think, is one of the most important cards in the deck because like a lot of it is, I'd say, smoke and mirrors, where you have to convince the opponent that you have a somewhat respectable board and hand, even though you probably don't. Right, you have like 1, 2, 3 completely dead cards at all times. But for the opponent, you sit there with 5 cards in hand, 2 face downs, and like an Emissary and a Maiden on board, and it looks perfectly solid. But you're probably like one bad answer away from just losing.
Right.
So yeah, that's why I think Jar of Greed is, I think, the perfect card for this kind of deck.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then the Last Wills actually came in quite late because I was playing 1 for the most part. And because I just wanted more ways to get to Sangan, and I didn't like Tomato in the short time that I tried it. But playing 1 Last Will and you only really have 1 good target in Sangan, because getting Exodia pieces is okay sometimes, but not as often as you think just on its own. And so I wanted to play 3 Last Wills, and that's how I came to the Exiled Force, which is like the best card in the deck, I think, or at least definitely up there. Mm-hmm. And at that point, I just needed 1 more good Last Will target. And then I remember that I played I think it was Dark Beginning 1 or 2 or something like this, like forever ago. I played some Dark Beginning booster box draft with a friend. And I actually pulled all 5 pieces of Exodia in my booster box. And so obviously I had to play it. It's not that crazy. I think they're common and the head is like a super rare, something like this, but still. So I had to play Exodia. But the problem is like Cyberjar is also in this set. And so I needed, and it's a rare or something, so that everyone was going to have it. And so I needed a way to recur an Exodia piece. And out of all the cards that I pulled, I don't know if there's something else in the set, but at least from what I had, the only thing was Forgiving Maiden. So I played 3 of that. And it actually worked out one time, and ever since I wanted to play it in a real deck. And then, yeah, that's how it came in there.
That's pretty awesome. Just having 2,000 defense really isn't that bad. I imagine you're mostly using this card to get back like emissaries and stuff that are dying in battle, so you can just get those extra searches, or are you utilizing this in a different way? That's kind of just like what jumped out in my mind.
I mean, Emissary and Sengen is the dream, right? That's what you really want to get back. The main is mostly 2,000 defense. You're completely right? I was always a bit bothered by not playing spies in this deck. I just couldn't really find the space, and they are kind of awkward if you draw through your deck really quickly and so on. And so this kind of does a very, very bad impression of spy, but that's often kind of enough. And yeah, it's a really good target for like the second or third last will, especially if you have multiple at the same time, because you can only get one Sengen. But if you get Maiden, you can kind of like, it's basically like a searchable monster reincarnation that also fills your graveyard for BLS and backup soldier. And it can get back Exodia pieces, of course. And one thing that's kind of cute that I was almost able to do, but then I got hit by card destruction myself, was that I had an Exodia piece, card destruction, and a last will. And then you can kind of protect your Exodia head from your own card destruction by running in, searching the Maiden, and then using card destruction, and then sacking it and returning the head.
Yeah.
So yeah. And being a light that can send itself to the graveyard is also kind of nice. Just like Thunder Dragon, right? That's what makes Thunder Dragon so good. That is basically you can, whenever you need, you can just put a light in the grave.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes a whole lot of sense to me. Whenever I was watching the stream and I saw this card come up, I'm like, whoa, hold on. This is some like supreme spice. I actually had to reread the card because it'd been so long since I'd read this, and then it started to pop in my head. I'm like, no, this actually makes sense. This is like the one deck for the Forgiving Maiden in the format, if there ever has been one. So I'm so glad you found this in your Dark Beginnings one draft.
Yes. To be honest, I didn't even remember that it had 2,000 defense. I thought it had like 1,500 defense or something like this. So when I looked it up, I was like, whoa, this is actually good. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a sneaky, just like not bad card on its own, and then like just I don't. Yeah, it's a pretty unique effect, I suppose. Getting a monster back when it's died as a result of battle. It's pretty sick. I'm glad. I'm so happy to see this.
I think it also just a very fortunate coincidence that a Emissary has exactly as much attack as like Breaker and Tribe and sometimes Blade Knight. So you get the benefit of Emissary dying while also killing something, so that it works very well with a Maiden.
Yeah, Emissary is a pretty good card if you can get it to work, for sure.
Yes, but I think this is probably the interesting part. The 2 backup soldiers are just, and the card destruction. The card destruction was not that great this tournament. It's kind of a high rolly card, of course. Sometimes it just wins you the game on the spot. Sometimes it just gets you out of a really bad situation because it gets rid of a dead hand. I think I didn't use it that well, but I also didn't get lucky with it. But I think the card destruction and the 2 backup soldiers in the main are they give me the best chance at finding Exodia in game 1 when the opponent isn't as prepared for it. So that was the idea. But I've already considered cutting the card destruction and putting the Tribe in the main. That would have been the other 40th card.
Tribe, obviously just a very powerful card. Did you want to talk about any of the side deck choices or anything?
I think the side deck is not that interesting. I like that Kuhb is also a dark level 1. It fits the theme. You can meta him away, and he's good against Reasoning Gate and stuff like this. I guess the interesting part in the side deck would be the Storm and the Snatch, because I think Storm in the main is not that good, because you need to actually have some kind of play behind Storm so you can take advantage, because against most decks Storm isn't that huge of a advantage, right? You probably hit something chainable and maybe one non-chainable. And so if you don't have some solid play behind it, it doesn't really do that much. And if you draw the Storm, it could have been another card that would have been this solid play. So I think playing it in the side is correct here, because like as long as you never have it, your opponent will probably continue playing around it. So you kind of get at least part of the benefit of Storm anyways. And the Snatch is a card that is almost always good. It's kind of one of these broken cards of the format, right? That you win the game even though you did not deserve it. But the problem I had was that what card I would cut is different for each matchup. So yeah, I just sided in almost like in most matchups, I guess. But I side out different cards to bring it in.
All right. I've got just a couple of questions for you. You've already answered most of them just by talking about the deck. But the first thing that jumped out to me is you're playing 2 copies of Backup Soldier and 2 copies of Monster Reincarnation. And these aren't like Monster Reincarnation we see in every Exodia deck, and Backup Soldier we see sometimes. But we, instead of Backup Soldier, sometimes see Dark Factory of Mass Production, just because it's, it's a spell. So you can use it a little bit earlier. And it's not, the condition isn't, as hard to meet as Backup Soldiers is. Why did you opt for Backup Soldier over Dark Factory of Mass Production?
Okay, I start with your third point because I'm going to be a bit of a stickler about it, because I don't think this is universally true, because Backup Soldier says up to 3. So you can activate it if you only have 1 Exodia piece in the graveyard and 4 other monsters. You can't do that with the factory, so you need to have at least 2. So you kind of need to play into factory kind of just as much, I think, as you need to play into Backup Soldier. But of course, overall, like factory, you can just activate it. You don't have to set it. It doesn't have to get like past the end phase. You don't need the 5 monsters and so on. And I did start out playing the factory, and then a friend from locals convinced me to try out Backup Soldier instead. And I absolutely agree with his reasoning, because like with factory, 2 pieces is like, or like 3 pieces is 50% more than 2, right? So that's quite of a big difference, because then you don't have to worry about that at all. You don't have to keep track of, can I send this piece? You can send whatever piece you want to send to the graveyard for whatever you want to do. And because you can always return basically all of them back to your hand anyways with a soldier. So I do like that part. And I did play factory in the side for a bit, because some people play decrees, but I don't see enough decrees to justify this, I think.
Especially in tournament play, we haven't seen decree running around a whole lot anymore.
Yes, and I think against decree decks, I would probably better off trying to either like find a fast Exodia by drawing lots of last wills and stuff, or just going for damage, because most decree decks probably beat me down before I can do the Backup Soldier stuff.
Sure, that makes sense to me. The other cards that I was wondering maybe could find their way in here, especially the Cyber one. Why did you opt to not play either Morphing Jar or Cyber Jar in the deck?
I think Cyber Jar is much better than Morphing Jar in the deck. Yeah. So I did consider this. Honestly, one of the main reasons why I haven't tried it yet is I don't have one, and I saw that they are like $2. I don't know. I remember them being cheaper when in my childhood. So I will have to see if I can get one for cheap. I think it can absolutely be a good card. It's just that the deck is built, and I try to play it in a way to blank Nobleman as much as possible, especially in game 1. It's like it works rarely, but sometimes you can convince your opponent to side them out. And if you notice that, or like discard them to Grace or something like this, if they don't have a obvious discard thing, most of the time they do leave them in, and I feel like if I play no targets for this, then it will just always get Nobleman. That's the main reason. I think it's a very good card in the deck, and it might be correct to play it, absolutely.
Sure, that makes sense to me. Those are all the questions I've got. Like I said, you answered most of them already talking about the deck. Did you have anything else you wanted to say about the deck before we jump into these replays?
Yes, actually I do. And it is about Raigeki Break, because this is also a card I tried out, and I see it a lot. And also it has been suggested quite a bit. And this is another case where it might just be correct, because I don't play Nobleman in the main, and I don't play any spell trap removal in the main. Right, like no Breaker, no MST, Storm, nothing. I cannot remove a spell or trap card. And so Raigeki Break seemed like a nice compromise, because it can do both things fine. But I feel like because you're always playing down at least 1 or 2 cards with the Exodia pieces and the Backup Soldiers and so on, you kind of need to make at least one high impact play per game. Like get your opponent with something like a big Mirror Force or Torrential or like something. Sometimes they even do it themselves. And just so you kind of even out that disadvantage you just start with by playing these Exodia pieces. And I think Raigeki Break is just not great at that. It does a good thing in the moment, but I didn't feel like it helped me win games that much, actually. That's why it's not in the main, but I think it's great against Burn, and I probably should play more.
Sure. No, that makes a whole lot of sense to me. Definitely understand the reasoning behind that. But I believe the first replay, we're going to be starting with your first round of the tournament. Is that right?
Yes. And I mostly wanted to talk about turn 2, because I could have won the game then, and it would have been very cool. But I just didn't think of it.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into that then. All right, here we are with the round 1 replay, and you said we were going to be focusing on turn 2 here.
Yeah, so as you can already see, this was the first starting hand of the tournament for me, and it is insane.
That is quite good, yeah.
So, yes, I got very lucky plenty of times.
Got to get lucky to win any tournament. That's
what I thought, right? If I play a meta deck and against such a strong field who are also playing very strong decks, I'll need to get lucky as well, right? So might as well play something I'm passionate about.
Right. Yeah, look at this Forgiving Maiden just eating the Blade Knight.
Yes, you'll see what it could have done.
All right. Scapegoat coming out. And Upstart. Okay, draw some more cards.
You will see what I draw.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And here I play the meta first, just in case he had Solemn, because I thought rather the meta than the charity with this hand.
Sure.
But I mean, it was just. And then you can pause. Yes, I did not expect this. Apparently, he's known for playing this. I had no idea. When I saw Blade Knight, I did not expect Skill Drain at all. I think this is the second time since I've been playing Goat that I've seen Skill Drain. So yeah, this is just completely. I had no idea what was happening.
Yeah, Coach J, definitely known for Skill Drain aggro, has at least a couple of tops with it. I believe got a World's Invite with it.
Would have been great to know. Man, the match was very great. Yes. So I play the Grays and I discard the obvious cards.
Oh wow.
Yes, and right here I have game. I just did not. My brain was not able to understand that Skill Drain negates all monster effects. Right? I was just thinking, damn, I can't suck with Thousand Eyes. So when I see Thousand Eyes and tokens on the board, I don't think I can make some crazy last will plays. So it just didn't occur to me. But right here, do you see it?
Let's see. You can last will, but you've got these tokens here. I don't know. I don't see. Oh, wait. So I don't know how you're getting. I don't see how you're getting the Exodia pieces to hand.
Yes. So Lubu from the Discord channel messaged me after the event, and he watched this replay and he told me, "Here, you missed this sick play on turn 2," and I was actually really kicking myself because this is one that's what the Maiden is in there for, right? I have done this exact line before because it's very good and it happens quite a lot. And what you can do, there's even two lines that you could have taken.
I see it now.
I have 8,000 life. You see it?
I see it.
Yes,
yeah.
then walk me through it.
Okay, so you use one last will. Thousand Eyes Restrict attacks the Blade Knight. You get Sangan. Sangan attacks the Blade Knight. You add an Exodia piece, and then main phase 2, you sacrifice the Forgiving Maiden. How are we using the Sangan?
Well, your line actually, your line would have worked. Up until that point, it would have been correct as well. So there's 3. Nice.
Oh, wait, I see. Well, also, I guess you could last will in main phase 2, sacrifice the Forgiving Maiden to get Sangan back to your hand, and then go get Exiled Force, summon Sangan, sack Exiled Force to kill the Sangan and get the last Exodia piece?
Yes, that would have been one of the possibilities.
Who sees this?
That was the point, right? That is what the deck is built to do. Skill Drain messed me up.
That's that's wild. I do not blame you for missing that in the moment. Like, that even took me, like, I'm sitting here looking at it, I'm like, you don't have enough monster zones. You're not getting the monsters to hand. What's going on here? That's wild.
Yeah, I was kicking myself, but I think, it is okay. It's just that there was even a simpler way, because I had 8,000 life, right? You can just turn one token to attack, activate both last wills, and run in with both monsters. And then you get Sangan and an Exodia piece. And you run in with Sangan and the Exodia piece, get the fourth piece with Zangan, and then add the other piece with the Maiden. So there were even multiple possibilities to win the game here on turn 2, which is ridiculous because my draw was, of course, crazy. But like turn 3 or 4, this happens occasionally.
Those are some big brain plays there, but yeah, I guess.
I did not make this play. So.
Sure. I imagine. Okay, you retributed off for Thunder Dragon and just crashed. Okay.
Yes, and then I used the Maiden with the last will. So yeah, I won this. I did not win this game, but fortunately I won the next 2 games just by a beatdown.
Okay, yeah, still took down the round. That's what matters here, and like, I guess now you've got that in your back pocket going forward.
Yes, the next time I see Skill Drain, I will remember this moment. Also, thank you, Lubu, for making me aware of this.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I like Last Will, is just like the whole toolbox aspect. There's often so much more than you can do, so much more that you can do with it that often, meets the eye, just at least on first glance like this.
Yes.
I love that. All right. So you also sent a replay of the top 8, and we are going to be watching that full match. I unfortunately was not watching the stream whenever that happened, so I guess fortunately, if you want to look at it this way, for me, it's fresh for me, but a lot of people hyped it up to me, so I'm excited to see that one.
Yeah, I guess it will be slightly less hype if you see the cards in hand, but it was a very fun game. I did not watch this back, so because I thought it was also maybe fun to experience it for the second time, like from a different perspective, and maybe with you sitting there, seeing what I did correctly or not correctly. But I think game 1 was an example where card destruction was not great, but I'm not sure. But this hand is again kind of crazy, right? Yeah,
very good hand for sure. Anytime you see Graceful Charity in these, I guess you could call it a combo deck.
Yeah, definitely, yes.
Yeah, anytime you see Graceful Charity here in decks like this, it's often quite good. So opponent leading on just a monster and a couple back row. No big deal. Backup soldier. Okay. I'll get back the one piece we've already dumped. And we've got Jar and Ring down. Okay.
Yeah, at this point, this actually looks fine. The Trap Dust Shoot, of course, is kind of a pain.
Yeah, it's a little annoying. But that'll be all right. Jog first.
I have the jar drawn to another jar, so the hand knowledge kind of at least gets reduced a little bit.
Mm-hmm. All right, I like that. Don't throw off anything else. Just set the jar. The opponent's not pressuring you. Just kind of chilling. Yep,
yes, but you can see here already, this is kind of rough. Because the opponent has what I want to do, right? They have something that immediately replaces itself and can just attack in.
Right. Jogger on a Mirror Force. Okay. Interesting to see the play here. Yep. Okay. I don't hate just set Mirror Force pass. Just sort of stop the opponent's pressure just a little bit. See some more cards. I always like to wait on the card destruction. Just like see as many cards as possible. Build it up and get as many draws off of it as possible. So
yes, that was my thought process, but I think there's an argument for using it in the turn 1 or 2. Not 1, like wait for the Serpent, of course, but before the opponent gets the Thunder Dragons.
Sure.
Because this hand doesn't have a lot of gas, but I'm still not sure.
Sure. Take the 2800 there. Don't hate that. And, yep, set Call of the Haunted. Oh, it's drawn out a Raigeki Break. You don't really care about that too much, I don't think.
Yes. Very happy about that.
Yeah, get to keep the Mirror Force around. It's ideal. A jog from the opponent. And see if we're, ripping it off now. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, I want to stay out of BLS range, right?
Yeah. Especially your opponent. Yeah, your opponent still has Ring around as well. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense for the turn for Mirror Force to come down. Last Will. Well, we could Last Will and then summon Fusionist. That is a play we could make here.
I mean, I'm not sure if we're that desperate.
Not much of anything, but
I mean, we can summon Flame Ghost, which has 1,000 attack, right? Isn't it?
no, that's
Just
true.
better.
That's true. Flame Ghost's not quite as based as Fusionist, though. So
Yeah, the great debate, yes. So, I mean,
right.
that play is still it gets into the desperation territory, but I think it's slightly better than Fusionist.
Oh yeah, for sure. I like this little meta into tear last will to grab the Sangan play.
Yeah, it doesn't feel super safe against Chaos, but like I had 6 cards in hand and they all did nothing.
Right. I'm okay with it. Just kind of setting up. You got the stall going here. A nice little wall. You know, 2 of the cards in your opponent's hand are Thunder Dragon, so. But.
Is it still 2? No, it's 1, right?
Is it just 1 now?
Of what did he discard? Yeah,
You're right. One got discarded to break. You're right. Sword coming down, unfortunately, taking out the Sangan. Serpent's back, though.
Yeah, so this is, of course, then the point where I use the card distraction, I think.
Yep. You get 3 cards here. That's all right. You've got the Monster Reincarnation to get back. The Exodia. That's Ring. Okay. Unfortunately,
of course,
didn't have the Thunder Dragon first, but that's all right.
Fortunately, I discarded both knocks for my opponent. So that's nice to know, right? I'm safe to set now.
Yep, for sure. Exiled Force, not bad here either. Just clearing the Sork out of the way, so hopefully Tear can just keep the stall going.
Very happy about that upstart.
Yeah. Going up to 5,000 feels pretty good. MST on Monster Reincarnation. You do still have one more.
One of each.
Okay. I remember before I knew you were playing a second, I saw your the head get discarded along with a Monster Reincarnation in one of your games. I'm like, oh no, we can't get that back. But then someone mentioned you were playing too. I'm like, that's awesome.
But it is, of course, a concession, right? It's not like I play 2. I mean, Reincarnation, I think, is one of the best cards in the deck. I used it on things other than Exodia had more often than not, I would say.
Yeah. I think with that and, being able to play Premature Burial and Call of the Haunted, it just makes your Emissaries and your Sangan just so potent.
Yes, and BLS. I think on Saturday in the tournament before, I played against D-Day Merrick as well, and there I won a game at least. And I brought back BLS like 3 times, I think, in one game with like Reincarnation, Premature, and Call. It's crazy.
Now, speaking of BLS, there he is. Take a look at the graveyard here. We would have to get rid of an Exodia piece, but I guess we could tribute off this 1,000 Eyes Restrict if we chose to do that. But you're just going to pass a turn. Yeah, I don't hate that. With the opponent at 7,900.
Yes. I think I'm still a bit overzealous sometimes with the BLS. But yeah.
Okay, there's Reincarnation. Does that change what we want to do here? Yeah, okay. Face down monster, I imagine, is what's making you throw the BLS out here.
Yeah, turned out, I think, to not be the correct decision, I think.
Okay.
But I was too afraid of like a moth.
Sure. And your opponent, like, Tear is preventing the monster from being flipped up, but like looking at your opponent's graveyard, all they need is another Chaos monster, another Raigeki break, something like that, and they can just clear the Tear out of the way, no problem. So maybe they were setting up to do that.
This was unfortunate because I summoned the BLS because I thought unless it gets banished, and even then I can use the Reincarnation to bring back Exiled Force to at least get rid of the Chaos monster, then it's pretty safe. If they remove the BLS, it's fine. I have a Reincarnation. But they did hit the Reincarnation, and now my hand is just like, ugh.
Yeah, that's not the best.
But that's also kind of what I was talking about earlier, right? You see this board, it's like a BLS, it's a face-down monster, it's a Thunder Dragon, which is kind of respectable. But as soon as the BLS goes, that's kind of it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That would be the deck there for sure. Or the game. Yeah, Graceful Charity. I mean, the opponent didn't have very many
I
cards
can't
left in their
complain.
deck, so yeah.
I mean, I started this game with Potent Grace and Thunder Dragon and Serpent, right?
Right, yeah. All right, think. Summon a BLS of their own. Not activating Prio, interesting. Oh, they have a Raigeki break. Okay, so they're probably have this pegged as Sinister Serpent, which is correct. And they're just going to try to end the game here.
Yes. And they, so it turns out they did have the Raigeki break, right? That would have ruined my tear.
Yep. So I don't know. Maybe maybe there just wasn't really a way out of that situation there.
Yes, this I think is a mistake what I do here.
Set the emissary into BLS. Sure. I don't know how much the emissary is going to be doing for you though.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I should have made this play. Right, get the Sangan off the board one turn earlier, get his cards down, maybe I can win with deck out. Obviously not, but gonna play to your outs. But then I would have one more token and the situation would have been the same. So I guess it would have been better, but this is over.
Yeah, MST is going to get us out of here. Okay. Well,
yep.
Not able to take down game one. It felt like you had a shot for some of it there, but especially at the very beginning, but it just kind of slowly moved over into the opponent's favor there. And then, Turbo did its turbo thing and kind of started burying you in cards, right?
Like triggered 3 Night Assailants, I think, at that point.
Yeah. All right. Starting with Thunder Dragon's pretty nice. Then the deck up starting to jog. All right. Okay, so I see you summon Emissary here, which I agree with. A lot of people don't know like the Exodia builds. I would have left in Nobleman of Crossout because most of the builds do play like what you said, the Deco. Some of them play Spy, stuff like that. Do you usually just summon this out game 2 and 3 rather than setting? Never set? Okay.
It's like only if I like really have to. This is why I want my opponents to side out the Nobleman, right? It's not like setting is bad. I just really don't want it to get Nobleman. You can't afford this, I think.
Sure. No, that makes a lot of sense to me. I like that. Upstart for the opponent. Now they are the ones setting cards. Cool. Meta's here. You also have Exiled Force if you want to use that on the monster. Yep.
Absolutely.
I don't hate that. We're doing damage with the Exodia deck. Let's go.
Yeah, no one expects the Exodia deck throwing hands, right?
All right. Opponent drew another Spy. Okay. Trap Dust Shoot is not... That's not the worst here. You sit back an Exodia piece.
Yeah, I think I want to talk about Trap Dust Shoot if we have this little bit of time.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Because I've heard people say that like playing Exodia in a format where Trap Dust Shoot is legal is like especially brutal. But I think I disagree, but I don't feel strongly about this. I might just be wrong. It might be a silly opinion. But I think Trap Dust Shoot is not significantly worse for an Exodia, or for this deck at least, than it is for like any other deck, right? It always sucks. Always bad to get hit by it. But I think very often it's kind of like this, where either I have an emissary that will search an Exodia piece later, or it already got value, like it ran over Dekoichi or some other monster that doubled a breaker or something, I got the piece. And then if my opponent then uses Trap Dust Shoot to shuffle the piece back in, it's like a clean +1 for me, right? So I don't mind that much.
Right. Yeah, the card's just like sitting there completely dead in your hand. You kind of want to search them. You want them to be in the deck, so you'll have usable cards in your hand so you can search them out later. So I fully agree with you there.
And I think the Exodia pieces are kind of magnets as well for Trap Dust Shoot. It just feels very good if your opponent Dust Shoots you and you have a BLS or a Serpent in hand and you get to keep it, right? It's crazy.
Right.
But it happens occasionally.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think this card is like the ruiner of the Exodia deck, like some people think. I agree with you for sure.
Yes, I think it can ruin your game, just like it can ruin the game of any deck, I think, at the right moment or wrong moment. But yeah.
Yep. All right, Jog. That's a much better card than than random Exodia piece.
Yes.
Thanks for
I
shuffling.
think
the deck,
I
opponent.
understated. Yes, I think I understated how lucky I got in the beginning.
You put BLS in your deck to draw it. All right, I like this Exile Force. Take out the Spy. We're just getting aggressive here. Make the opponent do something. Like, eventually they have to do something about this if it is actually pressuring them. And that's just good for you. All right, here's the big boy Exodia. Jog. Hey, Nox actually not bad here either. Opponent doesn't have a set monster just yet, but I imagine they'll be setting in the future.
Well, if they get the chance, right? They're
That's true.
taking a beating.
MST takes it out. Still no monster. Okay. Ooh.
Yes, so
last
I set
kill.
the nobleman there because it wasn't immediately useful, and I thought, like, if they have an MST or Raigeki break, I prefer them to hit the nobleman now rather than something else later.
Okay.
Maybe it was good. I think it turned out to be correct, but it might have been the wrong decision at the moment. I don't know.
Sure. That's a tough one to make, I think. It's one of those where given the information, I don't know if there's a correct play to make in the situation. You'd really have to go down like a whole bunch of like decision trees and stuff to really figure out for like
Sometimes
that
I
one.
mean you just can't know.
Right. And if you set the knock there and they do have the MST, like you're protecting future Jog, future Scapegoat or something if you need it.
Yeah, that is foreshadowing. Yes.
Oh. Oops. All right. I like the last will play here. I was hoping that you would make this.
Yes, the reason was that they had 2 cards in hand for a bit, and they didn't do much, right? I just kept attacking, and so I thought they might have a Chaos because they didn't have a Light, and I didn't have a Dark in the grave yet, right? So if they had, like, they drew Thunder Dragon, summon Sork, banish the Emissary, then my whole hand would have been dead, except for the meta.
Right. And you even got the Mirror Force out here with the Sangan.
Yes.
Not bad.
Like 3 cards, right? Thunder Dragon, Emissary, Sangan, they all already replaced themselves.
Yep. And you've got BLS online here. This is actually, we see here it's a Dust Tornado. If this BLS connects, you do just win the game here.
Yeah, and the Mirror Force is gone.
That is true. Oh, there's the Scapegoat. Okay. Foreshadowing coming to life.
I felt so safe about the Scapegoat.
Slam the BLS. We are getting in there. Okay. Well.
Fine. It's the best one.
Yeah. They go to 1200. Unfortunately, Dust Tornado on the Scapegoat. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to make Tear in main phase 2 because I had the Scapes, but yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, Torrential. This could be huge. Set an Exodia piece. Sure, I don't hate going for Tear here rather than just setting Torrential and hoping it works out.
Yeah, 2 spies were already gone, so I was hoping there was no third.
Yeah, your opponent just hard drew all of the spies.
Yes.
Little unfortunate, but here they get Thunder Dragon, so yeah, Light was what they were missing. And Tsukuyomi. That's not a Chaos monster, but I like the Torrential here.
That would have been bad.
Yeah, that would have been very bad.
Yeah, and here we are just more skilled than our opponent.
Yeah, let's go. BLS.
What do you think his last card is?
Let's take a look at the graveyard here. I would say there's a good chance of it being Raigeki Break. But knowing you win this game, maybe not. Oh, I didn't see
I think it was a nobleman.
Oh, it was a knock. Okay,
They
okay.
had for the whole game and they could never use. So that worked
Awesome.
out pretty well that they left it in. Yes.
I love that. That's honestly one thing that I like about playing decks like this that are off meta. Is you're going to get some amount of percentage points just because your opponent doesn't know exactly what to do, like leaving in knocks. Now you've got 2 dead cards in your deck because you've built and you play this deck in a certain way. Even like the dust tornadoes that your opponent brought in, they're not incredible. So
yeah, this wasn't back-breaking, right? It was just kind of annoying. I would have liked the scapegoats, but it was fine.
Right.
Another kind of insane hand, right?
Yeah. Dust shoot. Oh, we're sending back the emissary. Okay.
Yep.
All right. We are scared of the Exodia pieces.
And I mean, speaking of like unusual things, right? We the first replay we watched was me completely failing to do a combo I've done dozens of times just because there was a card on the board that confused me.
Mm-hmm. God, I hope your opponent plays Heavy Storm here. Deco. Okay. Jog. Okay. Heavy Storm. Do it. Graceful Charity. That's not Heavy Storm. That is a super rare. Thinking about it. Thinking about it. Duo. All right.
Yep, the gamble didn't pay off.
Duo's not the worst for you, but they hit, I assume, a non. Yeah. Unfortunate.
It's fine.
No Heavy Storm, didn't hit the Thunder Dragon, no Justice in this world. The Forgiving Maiden, though.
Yeah, see? Justice isn't world.
It's time. Ooh, Torrential? Not bad. So what was the reason for not activating the 3rd Jar of Greed here?
I didn't want to set Torrential, and I didn't want to have no back row. And since he saw 2 jars, like I felt like I could convince him that this was not a jar. Yeah, that was the idea.
Okay. I like the mind games.
You have to make desperate moves, right? With this kind of deck.
I love this. This is this is what makes the deck for me. Just
very glad you like it.
You know, like as the opponent, you attack into this, and you're just like, I know I'm gonna lose the game now because this card's here. Like,
and you would be right.
And the opponent's already like, Duo's gone, Graceful Charity's gone. Not a bad spot here.
Ah, they draw multiple spies again.
Last Will's pretty good. The jog into another Exodia piece. Okay, we're getting there. Yep. I kind of thought this play was coming. Grab ourselves another Exodia piece and a Sangan. We are almost there. Man, if only the Forgiving Maiden could get back just like any monster, like that just left the field. that might be a little too good, but you'd be playing 3 of this thing then.
I think this would not be like spicy tech in that case. It would be the hated card of the format.
Probably, especially it being a light.
But in that moment, yes. But as you can see, right, the Maiden does just as much as the 2 spies in this situation, so it's basically equally strong.
There's the Heavy Storm. Why did you wait so long?
Yeah, because the people playing here were pretty good.
Oh, baby. Let's go.
One more card in hand.
One more. All right. Attack into the Sangan. They get a Moth. Cool. Whatever. Here is where Trap Dust Shoot would be really annoying. But
Yes, true.
that's all right. Just need one more card. Need the opponent to not have a Chaos Monster here. Tribe is A-okay. Yeah, get rid of the fairies. Cool. That is a fairy, right? Yeah. Thunder Dragon gone. And, oh, yes. Yes.
I was praying.
They probably, let's look at the hand here. Yeah, BLS. Oh, they've got like a lethal line going here. They're thinking... They're thinking it's over, and it is, but not the way that they think. Put the pieces out in the right order. I love it. Yeah, no, this was
Proper fact.
this was hyped up for a reason. This is awesome. It's the opponent just triggering it off of their own card because they thought they were going to win the game. That's how you win a top 8 match right there.
Yes. And that was the only time during the tournament where I did the flex with the Exodia on the board, to be fair. But I just had to.
Yeah, I thought the other times I saw you just showing the hand, but you know what? I don't think it's BM to throw out Exodia onto the board. I think people like to see that even if you're losing to it. It feels right.
Probably, yes. In that moment, it felt great, of course. And I think they made the correct choice, right? Like, they didn't have lethal with BLS Banish.
Yeah, no, I think, I think they absolutely do that because, like, your hand is 5 cards. It has to be exactly 4 Exodia pieces plus 1 random card. So I think, yeah, they absolutely made the right play there, but unfortunately, they got obliterated.
Yes. So yeah, that was, of course, probably my favorite match in the tournament because they had the highest stakes and it was so ridiculous in the end.
Oh, yeah. This is so sick. You were telling me before I recorded, I said it was unfortunate that you ran into Burn, but you thought it was fitting that you ran into Burn in the top 4, which it looked like not a great matchup at all. Do you think that's a good assessment of that matchup?
Yes, I think I deserve to take a beating after this, right? Like, you can pull this off once, but if you do it twice, it's just not fair. But I think Burn, I thought it was an all right matchup, to be honest, after siding. Like, before siding, I'm just playing a much, much slower combo deck than Burn, essentially, right? So I don't really see how I can realistically win game 1, unless I get incredibly lucky. I thought after siding, it's probably fine because Wok is actually a pretty decent synergy card in the deck. Can also trigger all of your searches and last words, and it's just good. But I think I just didn't build the side correctly or didn't have enough because it still felt like very much lopsided against me. But I might just not have played it correctly. So I didn't encounter Burn much before.
Sure. I think I remember game 1 just like you just kind of got rolled. Like, oh, it was the double chain energy game. That's
it was Lily into double chain energy.
Yeah, there wasn't much you could do in that one. Game 2 was a sick game though. If anybody has the ability to go back and watch the coverage on that, would absolutely recommend going back and watching the top 4 game 2 with this deck. That was a really, really sick game, especially if you don't know what cards either player has. That was awesome. But hey, you got really close to a Worlds invite with this. Are you going to be playing Last Chance Qualifier number 3?
I'm not sure, to be honest. So I did sign up for all 3 just because I knew I wanted to play the first 2, and I thought, like, worst case, like, I donate $5 to the World Championship, which is a really, really cool thing, honestly. As I said, right, I came back like a few months ago to Goat format or to Yu-Gi-Oh in general, and I think the whole way the World Championship is set up with the ways to qualify, all of them are difficult, but they are many. So I think this is really, really exciting. But I'm not quite sure yet because the time is, for Germany or probably Europe in general, it's rough.
Yeah, that's true. I guess it starts at what, like 10 p.m. your time?
Yes. So I think I will participate. Not sure yet what I want to play. Maybe something else that's fun. And just kind of hope that I get kicked out early, just have a bit of fun and then go to sleep like a normal person.
Absolutely. Good luck to you. If you do join that, this video will be coming out after that last chance qualifier, but good luck to you anyway. I think I'm actually going to be playing in that one, so maybe I'll meet you in the finals.
I hope not. You can go to the finals without me. I'd be very happy for you. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah,
I'm very excited to talk about this deck.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming on. Once again, congratulations on the top 4 with none other than Exodia. This excites me so much whenever something like this happens. So I'm glad there are brewers like you in this format that can make something like this and like actually work on it and then get results. It's awesome to have.
Thanks a lot.
Did you have anything else to say before we sign off here?
I wanted to shout out the community in Hanover and in the Go Germany community in general, because I think it's crazy. It's so big and it's so active. So coming back to the game has actually been incredibly fun, and I immediately got addicted. Yeah, I'm not sure how good that is for me in general, but it's been a blast so far. I thought I got over this. And other than that, everyone who streamed and watched the stream, because I didn't get the chance to watch the stream during, because basically all 8 rounds were back to back. So I was very exhausted afterwards, but I did watch the stream later just to see what was happening, and it was so hype. So thanks everyone for participating and streaming this. It got me hyped, right? And I knew all of the games. And last shout out, I guess, to Lubu, definitely, who immediately messaged me after the tournament and had some really interesting ideas that a few of them I've already built decks for on Dueling Book. And I want to try them, especially mostly sideboard stuff. And BJ, who a few months ago randomly said that he's sure I will get a good performance with no justification behind it. So thanks for believing in me for no reason.
I guess he was right. You definitely did have a good performance. Yeah, once again, congrats on the top 4. Thank you very, very much for coming on here and doing this with me. I think that's going to be our video for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be back with the next one.